Hey guys, Rosie Volcano here. Today I'm going to talk to you about why you're probably codependent, but you just don't know it yet. So, I'm going to tell you a little story about myself and how I found out about what this is all about, and maybe it'll relate to you because I think it does. So, I used to be that kind of person who would hear the word codependent and think, that's not me. I'm the furthest thing from codependent. You know why? Because I've been supporting myself since I was 17. I always take care of all my friends, my family, my partners that I'm with. I cook their food. I clean the house. I am the caretaker, and ooh, I'm really independent. I'm so independent. I've always paid all my bills. I've never codepended on anybody. So how could I possibly be codependent? And I thought that way for most of my life. And then I got married at 29. And about 2 years into being married, I realized that there are a lot of things about my marriage that were not working. And I finally picked up that book because I found it in a free library somewhere. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to read this just so I have the education on it, because I teach people who are codependent. I teach a style of yoga that teaches a lot of people who identify with this, so I should probably learn about it. And as soon as I cracked open that book, Codependent No More, my mind was blown, because what I realized was that I'm actually who they're talking about when they use the word codependent. So what is a codependent? Who is a codependent person? Let's talk about it. What does it mean to be codependent? So codependent actually doesn't mean that you depend on other people for your life, for your emotional well-being. Well, you do in a way, but codependent actually refers to two different types of people. So in most cases, codependency has to do with a relationship with someone who either has an addiction issue or has mental illness. So that's one person on one side of the relationship. And because of their addiction issue or their mental illness, that tends to set up certain patterns in relationships for them to continue that behavior, to continue that type of life, right? On the other end of that is the other person. And the other person is the one they don't talk about too much. The other person in the codependent relationship is actually the one that I identify with more, which is why I never thought that I was codependent. So the other side of the relationship is the one that most people don't know about. Here's the other side of the relationship. And this could apply to you if you grew up in a house where your mom or dad was an alcoholic or had a mental illness, or maybe a brother or sister did. Most likely you have developed some of these characteristics, some of these relationship patterns. So what do they look like? Number one, you tend to have a mindset of, well, if I don't do it, no one else will. So I guess it's going to be me who does this, whether that's picking up laundry off the floor or doing the dishes or scrubbing the floors. You also tend to be a people pleaser, or go out of your way saying nice things to everyone, or saying yes to everyone when you really need to be saying no to more people. So you have no boundaries, right? So if you are someone who is just always available, always ready to help their friends, their family, their loved ones, the ones in the relationship, you're always the helper, right? And here's the tricky part that most people don't think about because it's subconscious. You're the one where if you don't have that role within a relationship, the relationship feels meaningless to you because you're not being validated in that way, and therefore you think that you are not going to be loved because you are not taking care of that other person. So you either end the relationship if you are not needed enough in the relationship, or you sabotage the relationship because you need to find a way to make that person need you so that they need you forever and they love you forever, and you can never lose their love. So if you get that person to depend on you, your need for love is always going to be met because that person cannot live without you. And that is the part that is the hardest to admit for most codependent people, that actually exists, but it does. So if you're identifying with any of this that I'm saying, I would love to know. Just write a comment in the box below and I will talk to you about this all day long. Here's the tricky part. How do you cure codependency? How do you heal a codependent relationship? And is it possible? Well, the good news is it's absolutely possible. And I was able to codependize my marriage after reading that book. What I had realized is that in my marriage, it started with little things. So as you guys know, my partner's name is Kit. And so when we first got married, or when we first started dating, really, we moved in together, his cleaning schedule was not the same as mine. His standard of cleanliness was not the same as mine. So what ended up happening is I would automatically start doing things just because that's how I liked them done. And, dishes, laundry, whatever. And it slowly started to add up over time to where the more tasks I took responsibility for, the fewer tasks Kit took responsibility for. And by me taking on the bulk of the work that needed to get done around our house, paying the bills, cooking the food, all that kind of stuff, the more I was actually disempowering him, taking his power away and turning him into like a helpless child, basically, that can't do this stuff without me. And over the years, the disparity between those two roles grew greater and greater and greater until it got to the point where I started resenting him for not doing more around the house. And he just kind of completely gave up because no matter what he tried to do, he couldn't do it good enough for me. And I would just go and do it behind him anyway. Or do it before he got the chance. I would ask him to do something, and then if he didn't do it exactly when I wanted him to do it, I would just go do it anyway. It was really messed up, you guys. So if you're hearing this, you're like, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, I'm so dependent. Don't worry. There is a way out of this, and I would love to show you how. So if you're interested, just check out the link beneath this video and join our 3-day challenge where we explore how to dig your way out of your codependent patterns and reset your life in a way that feels really healthy and empowering for everybody involved, whether that's your partner, your friend, your child, your parent, anyone in your life who you're identifying some of these patterns with. You can create a new paradigm for your relationship. And this is something that we cover in our 3-day challenge. So if you're interested, check it out and we'll see you there.